Now, it all kicked off as Jack Catterall and Josh Taylor went head-to-head. Blimey, it really did kick off. That was ahead of their second fight on April the 27th in Leeds. The pair of them face off again this evening in another press conference in Manchester. We can head there now and speak to the man himself. Good evening, welcome to the show. The chairman of Matchroom Sport, the wonderful Eddie Hearn joins us. Eddie, hello.
What happened to Jamiroquai?
I think he still performs, you know.
Is it?
Yeah.
He was fantastic.
Do you know, we were taking bets on what your first sentence will be. No one got that.
Good.
How are you, more importantly? Because we saw the press conference between Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall. We saw Jack Catterall go for the throat, and I saw you in the middle, and it looked like you were trying to separate them. What was all that about?
Yeah, I think it's just 2 years of rivalry, of hatred, if you like, and personal insults. And, you know, it's just become that much between these guys. That's why you get a massive all-British fight. You know, it feels like Quigg Frampton, feels like Froch Groves, Hay Bellew. We kind of missed those fights. We've got massive fights happening and big fights happening internationally, but really good to make a big British blockbuster April 27th in Leeds.
I'm guessing both guys seem really hungry because it was controversial, the first one. I thought Jack Catterall won the fight. I'm sure everyone else on the planet did. Can you feel that real bit of spite between them?
Yeah, you know, when I talk about feels like Froch Groves, Catterall was the mandatory challenger to Josh Taylor, and Josh was the undisputed champion. He'd done so much. He felt disrespected. This guy was even really saying he was on the level. Probably overlooked him a little bit, underperformed. I felt Jack Catterall won the fight as well. But the controversy should have really led to the rematch happening immediately. But it's taken 2 years, like I said, because of the hatred between them. And, you know, 5:30 p.m. today, you can tune in live to watch the second instalment of the presser. And tomorrow, both boys will be in the studio with Simon. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
I can't wait for that. I'm looking forward to that. With this fight, and as you said there, Eddie, it is massive. It's huge. I'm really looking forward to it. But has it taken a bit of the shine off it? And I do feel sorry for Jack Catterall because there are no belts on the line now.
Yeah, I think, you know, he will feel like he should have been undisputed world champion. But he's had the opportunity to fight for world titles, and this is much more important to him to getting this revenge than winning a world title. So this fight is such a huge profile. The winner will go on and fight for the championship belts anyway. But it's a bit more personal than that, and it's just something, you know, Jack feels like he has to take part in to right the wrong of nearly 2 years ago.
Whenever I see two fighters sort of go for each other in press conferences like Jack and Josh have, I really buy into it. I'm like, oh my God, they really hate each other. I go back as far as I know, Lewis Tyson to Derek Chisora and David Haye. And then after the fight, they sort of hug each other, and I go, oh, they like each other, really. These two behind the scenes, do they despise each other, really?
No, honestly, like, again, I go back to, like, Quigg Frampton. It's very hard, Andy. Like, boxing's a strange sport, isn't it? Where you can have this rivalry, you can punch lumps out of each other, and then at the final bell, you hug and embrace. And that's something that is instilled within the grassroots of the game. And it's actually one of the best parts of the sport, is that you leave all that rivalry within battle. And ultimately, I actually don't think these two will, but 99% of the time, even with a terrible build-up, you will see the two fighters shake hands, embrace. And that's one of the beauties of the sport. But this is pretty personal, like, from both sides of teams. You know, Josh was talking yesterday about, you know, his family have been insulted, and, like, it's pretty deep, to be honest with you. So it may be something we never get over.
You've been involved in some massive fights, Eddie, and you spoke about it there. Groves, Froch is one that the hatred between them two. Where do you think this will rank when it's all said and done in terms of rivalries in British boxing?
Yeah, I think, you know, I likened it to Quigg Frampton and Hay Bellew and Froch Groves. And to be honest, we've missed those rivalries. I mean, yes, it's Scotland v England, but the narrative, the controversy, the debate, it's all the stuff that makes it a massive fight. You know, we've had more inquiries and registrations for tickets pre-sales, you know, requests for this than we have done in fights for years. And I just think, like Andy said, the public buy into it. We've got to make sure they don't chin each other in an hour's time. But at the same time, you want it to be. It's violent. It's a violent game. You know,
Eddie, have you ever had it at a press conference where one boxer's pushed another one or punched another, and then they've not been able to fight because they've received an injury because of that press conference?
No.
Okay, let's hope that doesn't happen.
But when Derek Chisora picked up the table and slung it at Dillian White and landed on my head, like it was we were close, but no, I think that we had a meeting not probably half an hour ago with the security here, and they're saying, what do you want to do? And I said, look, we need the head-to-head, but just be ready. As soon as you see an arm twitch, just dive in. I'll dive in the middle, because if I have to get chinned to make sure the fight happens, I'm all up.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true though. Is it? If you had to be chinned.
No, of course not, but it sounded great.
You mentioned they're in the studio tomorrow at talkSPORT with White and Jordan. Have they got security in the studio with them?
Yes.
They have.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're also filming a face-off with the Zone, and it's pretty. It's going to be. You'll see it tomorrow. You'll see it at 5:30 tonight. Tune into Matchroom Boxing and the Zone socials. You will see the hatred is real.
Okay, listen. While I've got you, I've got to ask you about Gervonta Davis has rejected your offer to fight Conor Benn. I'm guessing you're disappointed with that. What's next for Ben? Where do you go now? Yeah,
I mean, obviously he's had his appeal now, so a couple of weeks' time, hopefully that'll be all done and dusted, and that's all we're waiting on, because that'll determine where he's going to fight. Obviously, all being well, he fights in the UK. Danny Garcia come on the other day. We've got opportunities to fight potentially for a world title as well. So he'll be in a massive fight next, but we just need to find out where that's going to take place, and then we'll pull the trigger.
Can I ask, sorry, just on that note before we move on, with regards to appeals, is there a limited number of appeals you can have, or is it endless?
It's limited to one.
Oh, so this is it. So
he won his case.
Yeah.
And the British Boxing Board of Control appealed. So
if it gets overturned, he's free.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well. Eddie, I want to ask you about AJ, obviously in Ghana, that fight's coming up as well. How's AJ, and is he ready for it, and what are you expecting from that fight as well?
Yeah, he looks great. I went down his gym last week with Ben Davis, and they're working really well. It's a dangerous fight. I think on paper, you expect AJ to take care of him, but as we saw on paper, it didn't really pan out that way for the Fury fight. So we know that Ngannou is a big lump. He punches hard. Mentally, he's very strong, and he can fight. But I just think AJ's looking spectacular, and I think he's going to do a job on Ngannou on March the 8th.
Before I let you go, talking of looking spectacular, you look great, if you don't mind me saying, because I've seen you before and you've looked quite tubby, but at the moment you look wonderful, right? So I've got a couple. There's a backhanded compliment there, Ed. Just a quick question, because the boys in the office were talking about this 72-hour water fast that you did, right? How difficult was it, and how much did you lose?
Okay, well, firstly, I'm still a bit tubby, but I just have a little bit more muscle now, so that sort of disguises it a little bit. I did the water fast for 72 hours, just water.
Yeah.
It is amazing. After about 12 hours, you start to realise you don't actually need a lot of food at all. And once you get to like 48, 56 hours, I wasn't even hungry. So okay. I didn't do it to lose the weight, because if you look into the science, it's more than that. But I lost about 8 to 10 pounds.
Wow.
I put it back on again in 24 hours. And actually, since then, I think I've put another 8 to 10 pounds on. But, it's funny, because I was doing the water fast thinking, this is amazing. You don't actually even need food. And then about 3 days later, I couldn't eat anything more. And ever since then, I've been going out for dinner every night, so maybe not the best idea.
Yeah, but curry.
The mental challenge was good fun.
Yeah. Well, listen, you look great. This fight looks great as well. Thanks. So I'm sure we'll get you on many more times before, because we've got ages till it actually takes place on April the 27th in Leeds. But for the time being, Ed, always a pleasure. Good luck tonight as well. We'll speak to you in a bit.
Thanks, boys.
Cheers,
Take care.
There you go. That's Jack Catterall against Josh Taylor. That's on, as I just said, April the 27th in Leeds, and there is bad blood. Ahead of that, you can see them going head-to-head in this very studio with White and Jordan. That's tomorrow from 10 a.m. Usually I say do not miss it, but I know you won't.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.